Yo! Get your whips out and whip your dicks out, boys, girls, and non-binaries. We're going on vampire hunt! This is Super Castlevania 4. Now, I'm gonna freely admit, this is a total spur-of-the-moment quickie let's play. Because in honor of this game's protagonist, the lovely Mr. Simon Belmont, having recently been announced for Smash, along with oodles and oodles and oodles of other crazy shit, I figured I might as well, jump ahead a little bit. I had planned to let's play this game at some point, but I figure I might as well just knock it out of the way now before Smash Ultimate comes out, and just negates the need for any other video game ever. So let's do this. Press start, put in my name, although I never figured out what the point of this is. There's no score system or anything. I mean, this game does keep score, but it doesn't save it or anything. There doesn't seem to be any kind of scoreboard. I honestly don't know what the point of that is. I have to look it up after this, because it seems like you just do that, and then that's it. Alright. There he is. The newly inducted Smasher. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This happens to be one of my favorite Castlevania games. I just think it's so fun. Like, those of you, familiar with your Castlevania history might know this is the game that revolutionized the gameplay by letting you whip in all 8 directions, like this. And you can also just flop it around. Yeah, he was doing Sheik. Simon Belmont was doing Sheik's chain before Sheik was. I just died on the first jump. Wow. Okay. Whew. If that ain't a sign of things to come, I don't know what is. Alright, well, we're gonna soldier on regardless. So, you might not believe it based on that, stunning example you just saw, but this is, I've played a lot of Castlevania games, but this is, one of the 2 that I've actually beaten. The other being Symphony of the Night, which, oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna shut up for a minute, just let this music build up. Wait for it. Ah, so good! Like, is it any wonder they're adding 34 Castlevania music tracks to Smash Ultimate? This series' music is godlike, and this game is no exception. So yeah, like I was saying, this is one of 2 Castlevania games that I've actively beaten, along with Symphony of the Night. Which also would be appropriate because, that game has Richter Belmont in it, and Richter has also been confirmed for Smash. But, you know, I wanted this to be just a quick, spur-of-the-moment, little quickie let's play, nothing too nuts. And as much as I love Castlevania Symphony of the Night, I admit that it's probably not the most fun game in the world to watch. Because, there is a lot of just wandering around the castle, looking for collectibles and stuff. And, I'd have a hard time making that interesting. Either that, or I just have to cut out hours of footage of me just walking back and forth and just backtracking through the castle, and honestly, I don't really want to do that. I mean, not denying the possibility, maybe someday I'll do it when I'm more confident in my ability to, when I'm a little more confident in my commentary abilities, or maybe, FPS commentary. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't want to completely throw out the possibility of a Symphony of the Night Let's Play, because that game is fucking amazeballs. But for now, we're going with something much more simple and much more arcadey. Oh, yes! Oh, swinging on hooks, so damn good. I mentioned in Kirby 64 how an easy way to get kids hyped up in your game is to have them, have levels where you slide down stuff. Like, Super Mario 64 slide levels or sledding, that kind of thing. Swinging on stuff, like you can do in this game, is pretty close to that. That's a pretty close second. And it definitely is a lot of fun in this game. Like, honestly, that's the main word for this game, really. It's just fun. Like, the original Castlevania games have, sort of have this rightfully earned legacy for being, you know, hardcore gamer games. Very hard, very challenging, but in a way that's still fun to play. But this game, I find, it just feels much more... Like, it's a lot easier, for one thing, so I don't have to, risk wanting to commit suicide as I attempt to beat it. But also, it's just, like, being able to just whip in any direction is really nice, and also the movement feels a lot more fluent than in previous games. Like, it just feels good. Like, this is just an amazing feeling game. Like, the instant you pick it up, you're like, oh, I'm already hyped. Because really, I mean, there is no better indicator, I feel. At least for more arcade-style games, you know, this doesn't really apply to, stuff like Night in the Woods or, Firewatch, you know, more story-based games. But for a more gameplay-oriented game like this, like, the very instant you touch the controls really sets the stage for the rest of the game. And when you first touch the controls in this game, you're just like, okay, this is gonna be a good game. It just feels so goddamn smooth. So I'm really excited to play through this. Also, can you piss off, disembodied horse heads? Really not in the mood to deal with your shit. I know you're trying to compensate for your Medusa head friends, but we really don't need more of that shit in this game. Hey, I'll stopwatch. Probably should have gotten that. Oh well. And actually, how do you use items? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yes, in previous Castlevania games, you would use items by, hitting the attack button. God damn it. Right out the gate with Medusa heads. Anyway, but yeah, in previous Castlevania games, you would use your items by hitting B and the up button. But obviously that wouldn't work in this game because that's how you whip up. So instead you use R, which is a lot more convenient because it confines it to just a single button press. So I appreciate that. Okay. Almost killed myself again on the very first level. That would have been embarrassing. Alright, luckily this game is pretty generous with continues and lives and stuff. Like, it's not the kind of game where it's like you die too many times, you have to start the entire game over again, thank God. You know, Castlevania has kicked the asses of many gamers around the world, but it's avoided that particular brand of bullshit. Even back during the NES games, where it was in vogue to just start the whole game over after dying 3 times. Because NES cartridges could only handle, like, 50 minutes of gameplay at most. So you had to really squeeze as much, you know, gameplay time as you possibly could. So that kids would feel like their $70 were worth it. Yeah. Considering the fact that games have much, much, much more content nowadays, just by default, and have attained the exact same price point of $70, I'd say we're getting much better deals nowadays. I mean, it's easy to complain about, you know, on-disc DLC and microtransactions and everything, and that is all bullshit and not great, but, you know, when it comes to just base packages, we're definitely getting a much better deal than we did in the old days. Like, even for good games like Contra, is a great game, not denying that, but also you can beat that game. If you have the 30 life code, you can beat that game in like half an hour. So that's like $70 for half an hour of entertainment. I mean, of course, not to say Contra doesn't have replay value, but you get my point. But yeah, and this game is pretty quick too. Not quite as, I mean, you can't knock it out in half an hour, but it's still a fun little arcadey game. Alright, on second level already. So far, so good. Really, I'm having to deal with friggin' hedgehogs now. Go back to Mobius. We don't want you here. We don't need you ruining Castlevania. Konami's already doing that for us. Ugh. I mean, I'm sure all those pachinko machines are very fun and all, but whatever. Alright. 30 hearts. Can I make that jump? There we go. Left, right. We're going right. I think this is the way I meant to go anyway. There might be some more hearts or other items back there, but I don't think I really need those for right now. Yeah, I got monsters made out of tree leaves. Just everything wants you to— oh god! That zombie just popped out from right under my crotch. Don't much appreciate that. And I don't have much covering on my crotch either, I'm just wearing a tunic. My gorgeous, muscly, rippling thighs are on display for all to see. You know, doesn't make much sense as battle armor, especially when you're going into a horrifying life or death situation like this. But, I mean, goddamn it, when you have legs like that, who needs armor? Like, yeah, he might die, but he's gonna look fucking fabulous doing it.
What a man, what a man, what a man.
Alright. Oh, that's right, I forgot you can crouch walk in this. If you hold down while you walk, you can make me do the duck walk! Cool, huh? Yeah. Yeah, nice try, CDI Link. Simon already beat you to it. He also beat you to making a good game. Alright. Starting to get my ass kicked, but I think that, yep, there's a turkey in this wall. Thank you. Personally, I would not eat a piece of raw meat that I found hidden inside a stone wall. But, and that was just a thing. Like, in old games like this, during this era, like, just old food that you found in trash cans in Final Fight, or just hidden in the walls. It was just normal back then. I think Streets of Rage had stuff like that, too. In fact, yeah, come to think of it, that really was, like, an early 90s thing. Just finding gross-ass, nasty-ass food lying on the floor and just gobbling it straight up. And getting health. I guess it can be assumed that, like, every 90s beat-em-up hero died from food poisoning right after those games ended. Unless you're Guy and Cody, in which case you get to be in Street Fighter for the next 20 years. Oh. Shit. Like, you're a Nagi and a Medusa at the same time. We get it, dude, you like snakes. It's a bit much. Also, I totally let that guy just corner me, but... it's alright. Level's still going, though. Probably gonna get killed soon, but that's fine. I have, where's my life count? Oh, there it is, okay. I have, like, 4 lives. 5 if this game has a 0 life, which I don't remember if it does. But yeah, it's not a big deal either way. Like, the death penalty in this game is, pretty standard and, you know, punishing, but also still forgiving. You know, it's the standard... You die, you get sent to the beginning of the section you're in, lose all your lives, you continue, you have to go back to the beginning of the stage. I think it's been that... I think that's the way it worked in all the previous Castlevania titles, too. Which, you know, it's a pretty good system, honestly. Alright. Out of here. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's a lot of crap. X. Alright. I gotta be conservative here, actually, well, actually, I'm back at, like, half health now. Although still, though, I should probably try to avoid getting hit by fireballs. It's generally a good idea. Alright. Oh, yeah, also I meant to, bring this up at the beginning of the video, but, if you notice, I tested it, it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference, but if you notice any extra background interference during this video, that's my air conditioner running in the background. Normally, I try to turn off my air conditioner and fans and anything else that might mess up the audio recording and cause extra distortion, but, like, it has been fucking sweltering for the past week or so. Like, so, yeah, I'm keeping the air conditioner on. And I try to do what I can to remove noise in post. So, honestly, you probably won't even notice anything, but just in case you do, I do apologize for that, but, like, I don't want to get heat stroke and die. I mean, I love Castlevania, but goddamn, it's not worth that. Not even Symphony of the Night is worth that. Oh crap. Oh god! Wow, that bat just juked me. That was impressive. Alright. These look like jellyfish rocks. Actually, this does look very Metroid, which is appropriate, you know, Metroidvania. It's the series that spawned the second half of that subgenre. Although this was long before, Oh, what's this? This is completely new to me, actually. Alright! I accidentally found a secret! This is cool! Alright! That was a happy little accident. Super pleased with that. Nice! Alright. So yeah, like I was saying, this was well before they had adopted the whole exploring a huge area concept. This is bad. Crap. Holy Water's not that good in this game. I mean, it's beastly in certain other Castlevania games, but here it's not that good. Items in general aren't really that useful in this game. If you've watched Ego Raptor's sequelitis on Super Castlevania 4, that is one thing that he argues about. I mean, I don't generally agree with a lot of what he says, a lot of what he has to say about game design in those sequelitis episodes. I feel like there's a lot of fair rebuttals you can make to what he says in those. But one thing I do very much agree with, in the Quickie episode he did on Super Castlevania 4, he mentioned how items in this game are kind of useless because you have the ability to whip in any 8 directions, and that is kind of true. I mean, with the axe, for instance, like, that was really useful in Castlevania 1, being able to shoot in an arc like that, especially since there were so many flying enemies in the game. But now they can just do this, there's not really much point. So, yeah. I mean, having this is cool, but, you know, the items have not changed to reflect the new abilities that you have, so they're not as useful as they once were. So, yeah, that is an understandable complaint about this game. But, yeah, it's still a pretty minor thing, I'd say. I mean, the game itself is still a lot of fun. Alright, damn, I'm at full hearts. I actually have to use up some of this. Yeah, take that. Cute. Yeah. God, it's so cool. And you can, like, extend and shorten the whip as you're swinging. So good. Not that, though. That was not good. That was the opposite of good. That was bad. That's the antonym for good. Don't tell your parents I don't teach you things, kids.
Continue. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Game over.